and welcome to WorldSkills Ireland 2023. We're in the RDS Simmons Court where we're joined by thousands of students over the next few days and hundreds of exhibitors who are going to be demonstrating and exhibiting some career opportunities for them, whether that be an apprenticeship or maybe the job that they would like to choose and find out about. And you're going to find out loads on this show today, tomorrow and on Friday as well, where we'll be catching up with different exhibitors throughout the venue here, and we will actually introduce you to a couple of those apprenticeships that we caught up with earlier this morning. But right now we're joined by a very special guest, and that is the CEO of CISC, Mr. Paul Brown. How are you, Paul?
Good morning, Brendan. Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, delighted to be here. Second year I've been here. Last year was my first year in post as CEO. I'm delighted to be back and delighted to see the expansion. And actually I even can feel the numbers and the volume has increased, and I know there's been a joining together with the higher options, but actually I think there's 30,000. They had to close the doors last week to registrations, which is great news. I mean, that's fantastic news.
I would like to link that to me being here for the first time, that the popularity went through the roof, but no, nothing to do with me. It's all to do with the apprenticeship programs and the career opportunities. So thousands of students, like I mentioned, who have such an array of options. When I was coming out of school, the options weren't really there, but now there is, and it's companies like yours, CISC, that are really looking enthusiastically for the next generation. Yeah. So what are you hoping to achieve here over the next few days?
We've got a plethora of kind of entry routes into our business. We've had a long-standing joinery centre here in Dublin with carpenters and joiners who join us every year. We've got some of who have gone on to become directors in our business and flourished to have careers all over Europe. That's kind of the real mainstay of what we've always done. It's been 50 years in operation. Actually, as we've progressed as a business, we're broadening that now. The services that we deliver as a business are wholly different to what they were 5 years ago. You know, we've got an elect business, we have a manufacturing business, and even within our own construction industry, the skill sets that we have now are far different to what they were 10 years ago. You know, we have robotics, much more emphasis on technology, data analytics. So actually, you know, the kind of old, I sat here last year, I think I used the term muddy boots. You know, it's moved on. You know, the industry's moved on, and you know, we've got a huge responsibility here today, along with all the exhibitors, to kind of open that Pandora's box for these people. Because a lot of these youngsters here today, you know, they may have an idea, but actually they're just looking for prompts. They're looking for something that really triggers their imagination and maybe their interest.
Yes, and actually you speak about people finding out a bit more about these companies. I didn't realise that CISC was an Irish family-owned business. I thought CISC stood for something, S-I-S-K, but that's the family name, and they're originally from Cork.
Yeah. The CISC family, John CISC, the originator, was originally a business formed out of Cork, many years later moved into Dublin and the rest of Ireland, and now today internationally in the UK and all over Europe. So yeah, 100% family owned, a long history actually of caring for people, and when they say caring for people, it's nurturing their own in terms of developing talent. And the John G. CISC Training Centre in Dublin, just up the road in Clondalkin, is actually testament to that kind of history. I guess under my tenure, what I want to do is kind of modernise our offering. And it's fantastic work. You know, you'll see the carpenter. We've got 2 carpenters here today exhibiting. The skill set is amazing. But as I said earlier, the breadth of what we do today is so much broader than what it was even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So really we want to modernise that offering and kind of use that to attract the best possible talent that we can into our industry.
Yeah, and Ireland, you hear it in the news, and especially when an international company will make an investment and there's more jobs, that the talent pool is here. The trick is hanging on to them. That is, again, another key point for you. CISC being involved in the construction industry, in the middle of a housing crisis, there's going to be a lot more houses being built. We've heard that in legislation and approvals and this, that, the other thing. So this industry, it is the right time to step through that door.
Oh yeah. I mean, Ireland, I think above all countries that I've worked in, has always created real talent and real hard-working ethic that exists in this country, which is, I think, is unique actually to a lot of neighbours, including the UK, I would say. I think the challenges with migration are there. We all know what they are. The challenges with homes for people. But I think there's movement. I think there'll be progress. I think we as an employer, we can only influence so much of all of that. What we need to do is, once we open the door to these people, is give them the best possible experience. You know, we're investing an awful lot of money in our people and culture program, which is around making CISC the best possible employer we can be for youngsters and people at any level in the business, and providing the opportunity for them to travel. You know, travel is a huge thing for youngsters. Some people want to stay in their own county. We had a conversation earlier. Some people do, some people don't. But we're finding an awful lot of people coming into our industry want to travel with the industry. So we've got to provide that platform. We've got people who came through our apprenticeship program, our graduate program, working in Sweden, Denmark, Holland, Belgium, right now with CISC. And that's something that they're demanding from us. You know, and seeing that experience and seeing them other parts of the world. So it's a whole varied influences that will either help us retain people. The government's got to help us as well, you know, and I think the government's trying, but they've got a task ahead of them in terms of the housing piece. But I think we're on the right track, and you know, we've seen a lot of migration over the last 10 years. What I've seen is a lot of people coming back to CISC as well, which is great. You know, we do lose people. We lose youngsters to Canada, to Australia. We also get a lot of them back, which is really testament to the experience they had here.
Yeah, and so if somebody's watching this now, they're saying, right, my son, my daughter, or me, myself, they really want to get into construction. This sounds like the right thing for them. The apprenticeship program, how long does it last, and what exactly are they going to start learning from day one? What are they going to be faced with?
So we have our carpentry and joinery program, which is very much focused on what it is. So it's very practical and also vocational and also college-based apprenticeship. We've got apprenticeships for BIM engineers, software engineers working in engineering, so how to operate technology to help engineers in the built environment. We also have apprenticeships where we teach people to become quantity surveyors and engineers, and we actually put them in day release into college to get their degree, and that's really, really valuable because, you know, practically as a parent, your kids are earning money whilst being taught their profession. And you know, if I go back to my own entry into this industry, I did a 4-year degree, did a master's degree in Leeds University. I came out and I actually, in the 90s, if I really look back, the degree that I had probably didn't prepare me at all for the industry. What an apprenticeship prepares you from day one is, it's vocational from day one. You're into the business, you're learning what the business is about, and you're also getting that educational piece in parallel. So there's a huge, huge benefit. As a parent, I would hugely encourage youngsters to come and have a look under the bonnet of this industry. It provides fantastic opportunities, clean opportunities of working, office-based opportunities, fantastic opportunities for diverse groups as females. You know, our diversity stats are increasing year on year, and that's because we're doing work to lift that bonnet and actually show people what they can achieve here.
Well, my daughter is 1 year and 1 month old, so Hannah, if you're watching this, check it out, CISC apprenticeship programs. I'm not sure when she'll be eligible for it, but certainly want to look out for it. Paul, thank you so much for joining us here today. Enjoy the few days and hope it's a great success for you, all right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much there, Paul Brown, CEO of CISC Group here in Ireland, and we're going to join another couple of apprenticeships who I caught up with earlier on. Here is the Designer Group stall. Brendan, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Can you tell us a bit about Designer Group?
Designer Group is it's an Irish-owned company, established in 1992. We do electrical and plumbing apprenticeships, so we're delighted to be here in the WorldSkills event. We're based in Ireland, mainly Dublin, and we're also an international company, so we have a lot of work in Africa, Mexico, in the UK. We're in the Nordics now, Norway and Sweden, so we're spreading.
So can you tell us what you're hoping to achieve here today?
Today we're just really here to spread the word about the apprenticeship is a great career path, as I said.
And these skills, plumbing, electrical, they're both hands-on skills, but also there's a huge amount of work that needs to be done in the classroom. So how important is it to have that balance of the hands-on bit, but also the classroom bit?
The apprenticeship takes 4 years for electrical. 2 of those years would be in a college. So you're broken into 7 phases. So 2, 4 and 6. You have a college balance, so it's very well structured. So you have your work on site, back to college, back to site, back to college. Great structured learning. You know, fantastic. When you qualify, then you can go on to you can stay at your trade. You can progress to engineering, quality, health and safety, project management. So it's a real game changer once you do it. Candidates coming forward to us say college wasn't for me. We have to tell them it is college. There's college in this. You do have the theory and the practical side. It's becoming more digitalised as well, so a lot of digital streams on board. So see the iPads being used inside, BIM stations. Just more, less paper, more technical driven, like, you know. So for the young people today, it's fantastic, you know.
These apprenticeships, electrical and plumbing, they've been vital for the country for years and years, but especially now with the housing crisis and in the years to come. So how important are these apprenticeship places? There must be a huge demand for them.
There's a huge demand. The big thing for us to be here in WorldSkills today is to try and get the gender balance right as well. So some of the ladies that we have here today are first year apprentices, and we're hoping to encourage other schools coming forward that they will put the girls forward for an apprenticeship as a career path. So it's not just 4 years, it's a career for life, like, you know.
And traditionally speaking, there has been a huge gender imbalance in these industries. So is that being corrected slowly but surely?
Slowly, but year by year it is, yeah.
Katrina, Zoe, thank you very much for joining us. First off, what interested you in this apprenticeship?
Well, what interested me was I feel like I didn't want to do a normal job that just sit in an office all day. Like, I wanted to do a very hands-on job, like, and do something different, actually learn a trade, that you'd have a skill.
So not like a normal day-to-day job. What was it that really interested you about these apprenticeships in that sense?
Well, I did the access to apprenticeship, and that really gave me like an eye-opening view of what actual apprenticeship I wanted to do, because there's so many, like, and electrical really stuck out to me.
Originally I was working on film sets, I was working in the film industry, which I really enjoyed, and then one day I got talking to an electrician on site, and the money that can be made, and I went for the money, to be honest. I was really scared starting off, to be honest with you, but the lads on site, they make it feel a home more or less, and you have to crack with the lads. But more or less, like, the money that can be made here, I think people don't know the real potential it has, and what everyone has in common, every single business needs an electrician or some sort of trade, so we're never going to be out of a job. So that's another reason why I want to stay in the trade. So I'm delighted I went with it, to be honest. So.
And traditionally speaking, the picture that you would get in your head of an electrician would be house-to-house calls and things like that. But as you mentioned there, Katrina, that there are jobs, there's an electrician in every business, every company, they all need one. So with this apprenticeship, you could work in any business anywhere around the world.
Yeah, you can work around the world, you can work in any sector. There's manufacturing, there's industrial, there's housing, domestic, like, there's every single line of work. There's specialised work, you can go into manufacturing, you can do cars, like, you can do everything. So it's not just housework, it's not just one thing, it can be anything. And you get what you put into an apprenticeship as well, so it depends on what you want.
So as part of the apprenticeship, you are on site now, so where are you working?
At the moment I'm working up at the Point, and I'm doing commercial up there, so office buildings and yeah.
I'm up with Diageo and Guinness. I'm working with manufacturing and industrial work. So it's there's a lot of different stuff there.
And I'm joined by someone in a career line that is actually catered for, taking people from all over the world, all over Ireland. That is, of course, Fáilte Ireland. So Fáilte Road to you, Sharon. How are you?
I'm very well, Brendan. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to be here and great to talk with you as well, because you're here to tell us about the jobs that we might not think of when we hear about Fáilte Ireland. So when I heard about careers with Fáilte Ireland, I was thinking of, you know, people at the top of the bus and saying, that's this building here, that's this building there. But I'm imagining there's a whole wide array of career opportunities.
Absolutely, Brendan, and I think you're dead right. When people think of tourism, they're thinking of tour guides or they're thinking of working in hotels, but there is such a variety of exciting opportunities and career pathways within the industry itself. I mean, you are looking at roles that are the traditional roles that, you know, welcome our tourists to Ireland. That would be in the hospitality end of things. You'll have hotels, you'll have restaurants, but actually you have a lot more in the whole area of activities and attractions and promoting our culture and our heritage within the country. And there are so many different opportunities there. And again, you have so many ways of entering those different types of jobs. So again, you'll see here today at the WorldSkills that there are apprenticeships, and there are apprenticeships in so many different areas that will take you into tourism. There's so many further education and higher education options that will build your profile to again enter into the tourism industry. Or, like a lot of people, you enter through the transition year route. And Fáilte Ireland have a transition year programme that runs and that we're in partnership with all the tourism businesses. And it's a very organised and, I suppose, functional program whereby you get experience working in the tourism industry, and then you can take your part-time job, and as you're working through, either school or college, you can then come back into the tourism industry. And from there again, there are just so many opportunities to build your career, from working in a bar during the summer to actually ending up running that hotel, 5-10 years later.
Yeah, and it's great you say functional time, because when I was in school not that long ago, TY transition year was a bit of a DOS, whereas now there is great purpose and direction and focus. So when you head into Fáilte Ireland for that career opportunity, it is exactly that. It's the starting rung of that ladder of a career opportunity. You mentioned a lot of different apprenticeship programs, so can you give us some specific examples of those opportunities in Fáilte Ireland?
Yeah, and I think that there's kind of two things there, Brendan. The TY program is really, really important. So again, for students interested in that, tourismcareers.ie is our website that basically is aligned with Careers Portal. And you can go on there and you can apply for a TY program, so a work placement. And again, you can be in a surf school in Sligo to a hotel down in Killarney. You can be anything that you want, and you should really go in there and have a look at those programs, because as I said to you, they're quite structured. So there's a purpose to them. It's, as you say, it's not just about going and ticking the box that you've done your couple of weeks. It's about learning critical skills that are customer service, learning how to deal with problems on the job. Multitasking, project management. You're getting all of those skills from your placements, and from there then obviously it kind of gives you that insight into whether you want to actually go a formal route and do your qualification, as I say, or you actually just want to come back to that particular business and start working there and build your career from there. Or as we talked about, the apprenticeships. You have apprenticeships, and again we have a number of them here today that are part of the competition for World Skills. You've got butchery, you've got culinary, you've got restaurant services. And again, those apprenticeships are critical to, getting that sense of what it is you want to do. Yeah. And it's also a stepping stone. It's not just, that you pigeonholed for the rest of your days. I don't think any of us probably left school, did something in college, and we're now working in that area. You branch out, you build on that, and that's the joy of working in tourism, that there are so many opportunities and so many different career paths.
Yeah, and interesting that you mentioned the butchery as one of the aspects of our tourism, but that's what we do so well. It's the bar service, it's the restaurants that we have, the gorgeous food that we have that's all homegrown here in Ireland, and that service aspect, particularly bartenders. I think there needs to be some sort of a UNESCO heritage held for the Irish bartender, because you go anywhere else, you ask for 4 drinks at one time, they will tell you step by step, please. So we have that great service sort of ingrained in us from an early age. But tell me about the rest of it. I guess it's about making the most of what we have in Ireland. And you see the ads for the Ancient East, the Wild Atlantic Way, the heart of the Midlands. So it's about making the most of that lake that might have been there for, well, obviously there 1,000 years, but now using it as something for adventure sports, for tours, and really making the most of what is literally on our doorstep.
And I mean, that's what we have. We have a wealth of natural resources that, from a tourist perspective, both domestically and internationally, that's a wealth of what we have within this country. And that's what our purpose is about. It's about literally trying to sustain Ireland as a world-class tourist destination. And because we have such natural heritage that is amazing, that's where we need to build, the careers that we have. And I mean, looking at the wealth of careers that we're talking about as well, you mentioned, Ireland's hidden heartlands. We have an incredible bog. And I mean, the amount of activity providers that are now setting up, you've got canoeing, you've got forest bathing, if you knew that was a thing. And there's so many different opportunities there. So again, it's not just about kind of thinking you're going into kind of that hospitality route or that tour guide route. You could be very interested in the environment. Yeah. And there are so many different opportunities there, and why not do a job that you're passionate about and that you're interested in? Yeah,
well, as a Kerry man there, I nearly shuddered at the mention of a day at the bog, but now it's a tourism, it's a day out.
Absolutely.
It's a family fun day out. Looking at Kerry at Ireland, we have so many greenways now that are again using what has been there all this time with viaducts and everything else, old railway lines, to use that and bringing it to life and bringing people there to appreciate what we have there. So, and that again sprouts out to more business opportunities.
Well, that's it. I mean, ultimately, that's what we're about. You know, tourism is a revenue generator. And I mean, that's what we're all about. That's what we're about, building communities, making sure that there's a sustainable program in place, not just for those that are living within the community, but those that are visiting and all the rest of it. So I suppose tourism and the opportunities that are there, they're just so varied. And you can come from any angle, and that's what I'm saying about the career opportunities, is that, you know, you have a particular interest in, whether that be, you know, you're canoeing down the Shannon, but actually it's about then, there could be other elements that you're looking for. So sales and marketing, you have human resources, finance, all those back offices as well, where you still have that interest in tourism and actually, you know, welcoming people to this wonderful country.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and you are falta back anytime with us here. Thanks a million to Sharon.
Pleasure.
We'll now go to our next bit, which I guess if you are going to be enjoying any of the attractions, amenities across the country with Fáilte Ireland, you might be getting there by car, and we caught up with the future of the motor industry earlier today. And now we're in the section of careers in motoring, and we're joined by two representatives from SIMI, and I'm going to find out all about what SIMI is. No better man to do that than the president, Paddy. So tell us exactly, what is SIMI?
Well, SIMI is basically the group that looks after all sectors of the motor trade, across lobbying, across industrial relations, across every aspect of the motor trade, and we cover manufacturers, franchise dealers, independent dealers, crash repairs, after sales, you name it, every sector of it. So very broad, all totally different dynamic, different issues, which is exciting. It's good. Like, you know, every day is different. Like.
So any car model, make, year, it's all under the umbrella of the SIMI.
Absolutely, yeah. So easy enough, you know.
Easy enough, yeah. Says you. Hope you don't mind I parked there. Just hope I don't get a ticket while we're chatting. Colin, tell me about the apprenticeships program that's here, because we're here at the stand for motor industry apprenticeships. My understanding of looking after a car would be mechanic, but now it's turning into a technician. So how big is that industry there, and as a career as well?
Yeah, pretty much, and it's huge as a career, and that's obviously why we're here today, to promote apprenticeships in the motor industry. So there's 5 different apprenticeships under the motor family of trades. You've traditionally your motor mechanic, that's moving to automotive technician, as you said. You've heavy vehicle mechanics, construction, plant fitting, agricultural. They all come under craft apprenticeship, which is 4 years, and it's done a mix between the employer and with Solus in training centres and colleges.
And with being a technician then, are these becoming more specified to individualized manufacturers, or is there a way that you can sort of work with all different car manufacturers?
Absolutely, yeah, and some of the brands will have brand-specific training once you're qualified.
Okay.
To bring you up to levels like master technician or diagnostic technician. But the basic apprenticeship is a craft-based apprenticeship. It's 4 years, and it is an absolute lifeblood of our industry. And it's something that sometimes may not seem attractive to students who are looking towards it, but when they look into it a little bit deeper and you see the different technologies that are there, the electric vehicles, everything like that, it makes it a lot more interesting as a career. But you work across all different brands as well.
Okay, and Paddy, this job, this career, I'm guessing it would be able to take you anywhere around the world should you want to do that.
Yeah, like as Colin has said, the industry, the technology's changed rapidly. We're now electric vehicles. It's some people of peers probably have a perception of the oily rags in a workshop, and it's totally different. It's diagnostic, it's computer led, and it's not just even on the technicians' end of it. Like across the industry, you're crying out for marketing people, finance people. Loads, like there's such a broad spectrum across the industry that it's fantastic. And yes, like you know. I'm lucky enough I've travelled across with the job across Europe and the world, but it's an industry that opens many doors, and I think that where it's changing, it's probably one of the industries I would say globally is changing the quickest, and people probably don't realise that at the moment with the technology, and again you talk about brand by brand, there's more brands entering the market, so it's growing all the time, so no, it's exciting.
Yeah, and just looking at the industry then as well, I mean, safety is a huge element, obviously, with road safety. With the evolution of technology in this industry. How much safer are cars becoming year on year?
Well, I think the regulations are getting so strong that there's no bypassing it. Like, you know, it is what it is. Like, our manufacturers at factory level are pushed to that level, and it's right. That's the way it's been pushed. Like, you look at some of the cars that are coming out now, you know, with it. Like, we're talking about fully autonomous cars in a few years' time. Cars now are getting to that point. With the safety elements, you know, being active cruise control, all these type of things is like the car. It's a totally different car you're driving than even say 3 or 4 years ago. It's going that rapid, and regulations are driving it that way correctly.
Okay, Colin, what are you hoping to achieve out of these few days here?
Just create a bit of awareness for students. So one, they know how to get an apprenticeship, because that's fairly straightforward. It eludes a lot of people. But it's really just getting the employer to take you on. That's it.
And that can be based anywhere. You could be in a village somewhere in the Midlands, or you could be in Dublin city centre. Wherever there's a mechanic who can take you on, you can start your apprenticeship.
Absolutely. That's the enunciation, you know, for the specific information come along to the stand. But ultimately, it's just trying to deliver that message, and then the benefits of an apprenticeship in the motor industry and where your career can then take you after.
Okay. Paddy, final question. As president of SIMI, can you quash a parking fine because the traffic warden has been here?
Only if it was on my Renaults or Dacias, I would, yeah.
It's a Mercedes. Can't get a
Can't
quash.
help you there, buddy.
Colin, Paddy, thank you very much.
Thank
Enjoy your
you.
few days here.
Cheers, thanks.
Thank you. Cheers, that's great. Lovely stuff. And now we're here, still in the motor section of the RDS Simmons Court. We're joined by Joe of Toyota. Joe, you're here to talk about apprenticeships and how you're working in line with Solus in order to get new apprenticeships on board with Toyota-specific training. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, we're looking at you know, new candidates, a young generation coming into the motor trade, in particular with the Toyota brand. We do our brand-specific training with Solus, so it runs in line from your apprentice level. And then basically when you qualify, there's career paths with Toyota Ireland that you can become a master tech, you know, work through all the different models, and yeah, it's a good career.
So there's plenty of variety and different interesting things
Absolutely.
happening.
I mean, there's a development now with all the technology that's being developed. It's moving into cars. It always has, but we're looking at GPS now, cars connecting to mobile phones. So, you know, fault finding has moved into not your old-fashioned wiring, it's invisible stuff, Bluetooth connectivity. So this is a new form of technology really taking hold. Obviously electric cars and the requirements we have to meet for emission regulation and that. There's a lot to know and a lot of fine-tuning. There's high voltage paths, understand electronics. It has everything, it really does.
And Toyota as a brand in Ireland, it has always been that solid car. I mean, you think of you know, the D4D engine, the Starlets going back way back when, the Hiace, and all of them. So solid, but then looking towards the future was the Toyota Prius. That was the first sort of electric car on the market, and you're constantly looking forward. So with those evolutions of technology, Toyota seems to be at the forefront of that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's innovation there with all the new technologies. And as you say, the older cars, they're still there, they have to be maintained. So that's why we're looking for technicians to come in an apprenticeship, be able to keep these cars, the best cars, you know, in the world. And we are, you know, we pride ourselves on being the #1 passenger car in Ireland. So it's a good time, but we do need the technicians coming into the trade to be able to keep the brand as strong as it is.
Well, it's a very strong brand, and people recognise the Toyota Avensis as the taxi car. I know this because I drive a 2010 Toyota Avensis, and I'm constantly getting flagged down by people thinking I'm a taxi. I'm not registered. I won't pick up.
Well, taxi men know good cars, so
exactly.
that's why they're always
That's
in
it,
Toyota.
and they have hundreds of thousands of kilometres on the clock. So listen, Joel, thank you so much for chatting to us. People come along, have a chat with Joe and the rest of the team, and it could be that next career for you. And a big thanks to Joe of Toyota there, talking us through the apprenticeship opportunities to become a technician and the wider range of careers that are available in the motor industry in Ireland. And a big thanks to the guys from SIMI as well. Now, we are going to be talking with this man here, who is not only going to be workshopping here over the next couple of days, but also across the country. And hopefully that final product will be on a TV screen near you. So Harry, very welcome.
Thanks so much, Brendan. Thanks for having me.
So this is really interesting for me because I remember watching this program growing up. So it's Let's Draw with Tina. Foolishly called it Drawing with Tina, but it's Let's Draw with Tina. And people would have spotted this on RTE for close to 3 decades now.
Yes, yeah. Since 1995. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's if I can brag, it's the oldest, or it's the longest running children's art show in the world.
Wow.
At the moment.
And there is, that's incredible when you think about it, because there is a children's art program in every country in the world.
Yeah,
so it's the longest running one.
Yeah, by the same presenter in the world.
Yeah, well, it's a shame Tina isn't here, but also thank God she isn't here, because I'd be fangirling over here. I'd be like, Tina, tell me this. And I drew this owl when I was 6. So tell me about the program, because it's really interesting the way that you're making this, and it involves a lot of the students across the country as well.
It does, yeah. Well, what we do is we base ourselves in the studio in Kerry for about a week. The last time, seriously, Tina recorded 44 programs in 4.5 days, which is kind of a world record now as well too. But the idea of using studio is great because it's so much energy, because students are learning how to use the equipment, they're learning how to cope with mistakes and problems which happen in any studio, but they get to rotate, they get to see all the different aspects of what goes into the production in a studio situation as opposed to in a classroom situation as well too.
Yeah. And that divide, that's what World Skills is all about. It's not just the paper and the book and the classroom element, it's about the hands-on element. So this is combining the two and getting people real, proper hands-on experience, but it's not just an in-house production. This is going on the telly.
Oh yes, yeah, this and worldwide as well too. It'll travel as well too. And this November we'll be there for 2 weeks. And we're going to record 30 programs, but they're watercolor programs. So these are for children and older people. Right? So 8 to 108 we do that.
And they are amazing programs because they're so gentle and soft, and especially now when you think of kids programming, I've got a 1-year-old at home, so a lot of it is shouty and cheery and bubbly and in your face, and there's constant action to keep the eyeballs, attention.
Engaged,
Whereas these programs, they've kept that gentleness about them, and they're just nice television.
Well, apart from nice television, there's also a really important benefit, particularly with painting programs or painting as such, because it has a wellness, a mental health aspect to it as well too. So if you're painting something, whether it's a vase or a scene from outside or whatever, but you're taking half an hour, that half hour that you're spending is your time with that. And that's really important for people to help them get back in touch with themselves, or forget about something that's happened. Do it
completely.
That way.
And when you're focusing on, painting an object like a vase or a vase, doesn't matter how you pronounce it. It just matters that you're focusing on that, and it takes you, into the moment. Where's my hand? Where's the page? Where's the colours? And it really is that almost meditative experience, and that's what people will be talking about with mental health, as you mentioned there.
Absolutely.
And coming back to World Skills, so is what we're all talking about is skills which are indeed the future. So what skills are involved in putting that TV show together? Because obviously you have Tina, who's the artist and presenter, but then behind the camera, there's a whole crew.
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll have everything from pre-production. We'll have the planning, obviously what we're going to do. In the studio situation itself, we have sound, lighting, cameras, editing, getting the coffee as well. But there are so many different aspects to it that people, I suppose, don't realise, look at TV, how many people are behind the camera. I mean, there's one presenter in the case with Tina, but you could have up 30 or 40 people behind that camera who are making this TV work. And everybody is valuable, everybody has their skill, and everybody has their own contribution to make with that as well. And I think the beauty about the studio set up in Kerry is that everybody gets a chance to taste every piece of it. Like, not everybody's going to be a camera person, but they might be a sound engineer, or they might be an editor, or sound effects, but they get to see, and as you said, they can get to actually feel and touch what goes on with it as well too. Yeah. And hopefully they'll have a wonderful career, because it's probably one of the most exciting careers you could have, to work in television. There's no day that's the same. Doesn't mean they're all good, but there's no day that's the same.
Yeah, well, the crew that's been working here with me will agree with you on that final point there. And actually mentioning the crew, they are through Kerry ETV. There's also one student from Kildare, so we've Ed, we've Keane, we've Darian, and I've definitely forgotten one of them, so I'll be hearing about that afterwards. But Harry, it's been a pleasure joining you here. Just a final word as to what World Skills and this event means for you. It must be important because you're very passionate about getting the next generation involved.
That's exactly it, because I feel the opportunity is there for children to have a look at, not children, young people to have a look at, see where they can go with it. Because it's just a small thing. Might change my career at 35. I only started TV at 35, so it's never too late to start something like this as well too. It makes you age really quickly, but...
You're 37.
Yeah, I don't look a day older, no, I know it. But I think from this particular opportunity here with World Skills is amazing, and there's so many, I think there's over 30,000 due to come in over the 3 days, which is amazing. And just to get the opportunity to see it's not all just about having a glamorous job, it's about having a good job that'll keep them sustained for the rest of their lives in a happy, healthy way.
Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. I will look at Let's Draw with Tina with fresh eyes
I'll
now,
let her know.
alongside my daughter. And listen, tell Tina I'm a big fan and love that the work is continuing, and we'll be able to cheer you on as the world's longest running children's art programme as well. So it's nice to fly that Irish flag. Harry, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
That is it for today. A really, really busy day, and tomorrow we are going to have a really busy day. So even busier, we'll be catching up with more of the stalls and exhibitors throughout the venue, and we will also, by recommendation of the crew here, be joining up with special effects makeup team. They suggested that the moment they saw me for some strange reason. So I'll find out about why off the camera, but until tomorrow, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you here from the RDS Simmons Court.